In this video, I'm going to go over the basics of the Juno-Gi's fully programmable drum machine. And the drum machine inside the Juno-Gi is really powerful. It's comparable to a Boss BR series recorder. And that means that you can create your own rhythm patterns, and you can take and arrange those rhythm patterns into a complete song arrangement. There's also a really cool step editor inside, and you can also import rhythm patterns from standard MIDI files into the digital recorder's drum machine. What I want to go over though is something really basic, and that's how to set up the drum machine to just play a metronome click. And oftentimes you want to do that if you want to have a count off at the beginning of your song, or if you just simply want to have a metronome to practice or jam to. So the way to do that is we're going to start off first by going to Recorder View, make sure that's pressed, and we want to go to Menu. Press Menu, we'll be at Song Edit, we press Enter, and we'll be at Create New Song. Press Enter again, and execute to create a new song. And we're finished. Now, to take and to set up an arrangement that simply has a metronome pattern in it, we're going to go to Rhythm, and you'll see by default in a new song, a preset pattern, preset 001, is what's loaded inside. And if we wanted to check that out, what we would need to do is you always need to make sure rhythm pattern is turned on in the recorder to be able to hear the drum machine, and then we can press play and check out that rhythm pattern. Now again, that's a drum fill. What we would like to have though is just a very simple metronome click. So again, to set that up, I'm going to go here to Arrangement Edit, press that, and I get an empty arrangement now. And to add a metronome pattern, I press Insert, and our library of preset drum patterns emerges. And there's hundreds of preset drum patterns inside the Juno-Gi. And the metronome patterns, they're dedicated patterns just for a click. Those are at the very end of the pattern library. So I go to the end, and you'll see the metronome patterns. This one says metronome 4/4. There's all sorts of different types of metronome patterns in here, which is great because that means that the drum machine can take and play really complex song arrangements with different time signatures. So I have that now set up to play for 1 bar. Let's say I wanted that to play though for 8 bars, and to do that all I would have to do is just simply press Insert for the number of bars that I want the metronome to play. In this case, I want to play for 8 bars. If I want to preview that, I can do that by pressing the preview button. Do that. And then once I've built my metronome, then I'm going to press Write, and I'm going to save that as an arrangement. And that saves that as a new arrangement. And again, I can edit that arrangement at any time. Basically, an arrangement is just a series of patterns that are arranged any way you want them to play for your song. So I'm going to press Record View, and I'm at our recorder, and I press play, and now I'll hear a metronome. Alright, so how do I adjust the tempo now of that metronome? Well, it's very simple to do. There's a dedicated tempo button on the Juno-Gi. I press that, and this is where I can adjust the tempo. And I can use the dial to adjust the tempo of that. Set that to 100. You'll notice something very important here in the tempo menu. There's a button that's labeled Link. Now, if I have Link turned off, what that means is that the keyboard itself can be set at an entirely different tempo than the drum machine. So that means that if I have an arpeggiation phrase that's playing, or if I have a patch in the keyboard that is using a step LFO that's tempo based, then those parameters will play at an independent tempo from the drum machine. Most times you want to have the two linked together. When you press Link, now anything that's tempo based in the keyboard is now linked together with the drum machine, so everything syncs together. And I'll demonstrate that. So let's go to our keyboard. We've got a groove here in the keyboard set up. And if I press our drum machine, here's our metronome. And you'll see the two play in sync now. So that's how to set up a very basic metronome pattern using the Juno-Gi's programmable drum machine. And again, that's a really useful tool in order to be able to put a count in at the beginning of your song for live performance, for use for practicing or jamming.